every Saturday night we would take our eggs to Pine River to, was it Carl's?
Yeah.
To Carl's grocery store. And they'd take our eggs and then we'd buy groceries and we'd have enough money left so we could go to the movie. So we'd take Jean and Charlie and Peg and I would take her and he would carry the other two and we'd go to the movie. And then we'd have groceries for a week and the next week we'd do it again.
Oh, here come the next ones off this field.
I come down here and buy light calves and raise them up to 800-900 pounds, and then I bring them back here and replace them. I don't know, you're a farmer, biggest gambler in the country.
One day I said, I'm gonna go back to the farm. She said, are you crazy? She said, you gotta be crazy to go back. She said, I wouldn't go back to that farm for nothing. Well, I said, you raised cotton. I said, I raised other stuff.
Yeah. You had a good farm life growing up as a kid too.
Yeah.
It seemed like it anyway.
We did. It's a good life. When you're away from that stuff for 3 years, it's quite a change when you come back. Well, we didn't see anybody. We was just on the ship. We couldn't get off the ship for anything because they were fighting there. We was an ammunition store. We carried ammunition for all the ships. They come alongside of us and got what they needed and used it. Come back after more.
That was a dangerous ship.
I had to fight to get in because I wanted to, and they wanted me to stay on the farm. That's the way it was at that time. If you was on the farm and doing stuff for the war, you stayed there.
We're just getting into the cows last year. We got about 25 cows roughly, and had 28, slowly calling off a few here and there. So just enough to keep the place grazed off, cause a lot of extra work. Yeah, that's right now that they're paying for themselves. In about 3-5 years, they should pay for themselves. And then after 5 years, maybe we'll make a little money for a summer trip or something. I don't know. Yeah, maybe for college or for Rosie and Clayton. I like to call it a ranch, hobby ranch. Yeah, 'cause I enjoy the cattle and the horses, and it'd be nice to sustain a living from it, but first we'll get the first bunch of cows paid for and see where it takes us from there.
It's kind of like the old westerns where you have the followers and only one person wants to do right, and then once you get them to all go one direction, they'll see it your way. But the schoolhouse will be gone before I can get any help with it, so, and let them stall. I've already stalled them and I can't stall them anymore. They want to burn it, so I'll be done with it.
No, but everything seems so different. Was the barn this close to the house? No.
The barn sat right out here.
Yeah, down further.
A little.
It came out of the Moose Lake schoolhouse. It was pulled out. They were going to tear the building down, so we pulled it out. And I actually decided to use it in my shop, so it worked out real well that it got some use out of it. And I guess you could say that's pretty common up here in the Leader area for people to do that. They don't like to see stuff just tossed and throw it away,
Too bad, huh?
Hello. Yeah.
I'm kind of retired from doing dump truck work, but if you needed just a few loads or something, or some bobcat work, I could come and do it. If I didn't have to do it no certain day or something, you know. It's in here and warm, you know. You got it nice in here, you know. And fry them up. Got a stove, an old homemade stove there, propane stove, and put a frying pan right on it, you know. Got fish sandwiches right here. Bring homemade bread from home and cook them up.
A lot of these guys that I'm in the Legion with, they see my dad down walking, you know. My dad's a veteran. He never did join the American Legion. Never has. Never cared to. Never had an interest. I don't know why. You know, he was in the Navy and World War II. Well, you know, people kind of, for all of what was going on, the soldiers kind of got, you know, kind of got the blunt of it, basically, because, you know, when you come home, we weren't very popular because the war wasn't popular. Nobody was happy with what was going on, and I can see why, you know. I mean, I certainly see why more now than I did then. Then it was kind of hard to understand, you know, why people would be protesting what we're doing. But, you know, after reading and seeing what was going on in the background there with all the political stuff, it's not so difficult to understand why people were upset, you know. Just about everybody was drafted that, you know, unless they chose to go into another branch of the military. And some guys did. They got in there before they got drafted into the Army. But they did draft a few into the Marine Corps and in the Air Force too, I think, at one point. You know, when they had you in the reception stations, that was kind of, at that point, if they needed guys in the Marine Corps, they'd you go in the Marine Corps, and that was, you know, just the way it was. So you had, you was hoping that you'd stay in the Army. Of course, I don't know if there was a whole lot of difference between the Army and the Marine Corps. You know, we heard a lot about Marine Corps training, but, you know, I seen a lot of the training that the Army had, and they weren't mellow, you know. I mean, you know, that way, you know.